Don't worry.
But Baba said you fix
Baba
it.
will fix this.
He turned it on!
It's all Aka's fault.
No! Hey, where are we are now? Basically at the start, like everyone has to pitch their idea, and so I decided to pitch to my lecturer. His name is Andrew. I mean, sometimes when I tell people, then they're like really shocked. I actually decided to pass this personal story for my friend Eleanor to write and direct, because I've actually worked with her before for our previous project. I think she's someone that I can trust to handle this project and to tell our story. As part of the research, right, I talked to Shah's family, like talked to her sister first. Her sister was the one who went through the incident back in 2004. Sadly, she was only like 9 years old back then, and it's been like many years since the incident happened. So her memory of the incident is not very clear. So I try my best to present information as accurately as possible. Given that, you know, the family is Muslim also, I tried not to touch too much on the religion aspect of the film, and instead the film is more focused on what happens to the family after the fathers commit such an act and how they came together, you know, to survive through this tough period of time. With the aid of my lecturer, Andrew, I managed to contact Home Affairs, and we also spoke to Religious Rehabilitation Group. They are a group of volunteers, you know, like who volunteer their time to counsel people who are radicalized, also the wives, the family members. We managed to talk to Jimmy from the police, and he's in charge of Crime Watch. So we worked very closely with him. We managed to go and talk to him in person to just get to know how everything works, just so that we don't give a wrong message about terrorism. One cool part of casting, and because it's a personal story, it's like everyone we cast, right, I try to like I can't help but to think of them as my actual family members, you know. So it's like when I saw Darshan, I was just, my brother looked exactly like you know, that size. So I just can't help but to notice the similarities. I don't know, it's just a weird experience seeing everything come to life through different people.
So for the role of Azza, we actually auditioned about 14 girls from ages as young as around 7 years old all the way to about 16 years old. So the first time when I heard Vinati spoke, I was very shocked. You know, after auditioning so many girls, you kind of like get desperate, you lose hope, you know, thinking of whether you can find the girl who will play Azza, you know, because like Azza, this role is very demanding.
Nawi, the boy who played Nawi, his name is Darshan. The director Eleanor and I, we went to Little India. So we were just walking around, just street casting, because it's not really easy to find a 4 to 5 year old boy to, you know, who can act, who is disciplined enough to listen to instructions. So for a child that young, we were very worried that he couldn't remember his lines. I actually asked, you know, Lee, you know, the sound person of the film, you know, to come up with like this tiny booklet that has like his lines on it. Baba said that.
Baba said that.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
Make sure that, you know, Darshan can trace. At the table read session, right, Darshan could actually remember all of his lines. We just needed to prompt him.
Okay, one of the main props in the film was the hoax bomb, made of a digital clock, and it's a lot of bits and pieces, circuit board, wiring, and it had blinking lights to create the sense of danger. And you have to look very homemade, DIY, like something a normal, ordinary father can craft out of his basement. Okay, one of the biggest challenges I face in production design is, okay, I would say it's the visiting room, because I tried to source for an actual location throughout Singapore to find a prison visiting room that could let us shoot. After searching, I could not find a place that is remotely similar, or even a prison in Singapore doesn't let us shoot inside. So I got inspired from watching this film where they did a set basically see-through mirror, and they basically just shoot around that one wall, and it looks quite convincing to me. So we went on to it. I did not foresee a lot of circumstances. It will take very long time to build a set, a lot of manual labor, and it's very costly for one.
I thought of
specific colours for each of the main cast. For Azza, pink, because pink is a sweet and innocent colour. For Jamina, I chose orange and yellow. It's a very motherly colour, but at the same time, it's also a colour for cowardice. And for Nawi, I chose green. It's an earth colour. It represents balance. For Rashid, use the colour red, because as you know, red is the colour for love and passion, but the negative expression for red is anger and fuel for war and destruction.
There's this one particular scene where the social worker came to the house, right? We had this idea of doing the vertigo effect.
What is this vertigo effect? Is track in while zooming out, focusing on the
So
we tried about close to 30 times and we still cannot get it right. That made ourselves a little bit more prepared on the day of shoot. So on the day of shoot, it was about 8 to 9 takes only, but it was still challenging.
The most favourite part of sound designing was actually the poisoning scene. Everything was actually fully from scratch.
The toughest challenge for me is actually the underground scene.
Tunnel scene.
At the underpass.
Definitely the underpass. It's crazy. It's like there were like 30 extras.
So the night before, my director and I, we actually sat down to to try a plan. So what we did was we wanted to separate our 30 extras into like groups of 5, like maybe like A, B, C, D, and then it's like maybe A and B can like walk front but walk in different places, while C and D can walk back, so that you look like more natural.
We needed a holding area because there's so many people, not everyone can be there at one time, you know. So the holding area was about 5 minutes away. Oh, one thing is the underground tunnel did not have reception.
You cannot use a walkie-talkie, you cannot use a phone, you cannot call, you cannot text. So the only way to like find Shah again was to run up and down, no.
It was crazy to block all of them, to take note of their conti, you know, to pay attention to the main cast also.
I have to take care of their wardrobe, and also at the same time, I also have to take care of the conti, like where their hair should be.
Time was super tight, and you know, like not everyone can stay, you know, not everyone's able to, and I don't blame them either, because I mean, they are our friends and family, they're doing it for us. I'm really thankful and grateful for all the help. So working on this project has been really emotionally challenging. Like, I have to keep my cool on set when, like, for example, the porridge scene, and hearing Jamina, she screams out, what? Look at where we are now! And, you know, for shoots, there's so many takes.
Take one.
So, like, each and every time there's a take, I go through the exact same emotions, and it's quite painful lah. I don't think I've told anyone of you that. So Darshan cries. Like, obviously I feel sad lah.
What's like even more heartbreaking than Darshan crying is that his mother was also crying on set. Like our team member was also crying. So it was definitely very emotional and nerve-wracking, you know, for all of us to have shot that kind of scene.
So after every shoot day, we have this thing called the post-mortem, where we talk about what happened in the shoot day, what went wrong and what could have gone right, and yeah, just admitting your faults and mistakes during that whole day of shoot. I think it's very good that we have that every day, because we will, you know, manage to solve the problem and then not continue the problem the next day. All of us are more self-aware on set regarding our own mistakes. Like, it also bonds the group together, because whenever someone admits to their faults, then the rest of them will be like, it's okay, I understand, you know. Things don't always happen the way that you want.
At the end of the day, we just really wanted to really share this really heartbreaking story, and to really let the audience know about the struggles and the pain a family goes through when someone decides to do something like terrorism.
Terrorism destroying families, communities. It's like what, you know, like all the SG Secure commercials have been trying to advocate also, what our governments have been trying to tell us. You know, even with like all these terrorism issues, you know, cases happening around the world, like how PMD, you know, is also preparing us to ever face such crises if it was to happen. So I felt that it was a responsibility, you know, of mine to bring that into the film, so as to share, you know, with people who watch it.
It's fun to see something personal come to life on screen, and it's definitely worth it. I don't regret anything, not at all.
And with this, I think we should like thank the family also, that
they actually allow us.
they give the chance to us to do the whole story.
As I don't think that many filmmakers, you know, they are able to do a film like this. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind experience.